Ron DeSantis is out. Nikki Haley claims she's being harassed because she's brown. And Donald Trump is gaining on his lead going into New Hampshire. This will be my final New Hampshire prediction. Stick around for the afternoon drive.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. I'm surviving at the top of the line.
Hi, this is Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive, where you will get my rants, my ravings, and of course, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out that we're here. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell, click the word all to get notification of every time I do one of these updates, because you won't get anything else like what I give you anywhere else on YouTube. That's not bragging. That's an undeniable, verifiable statement of fact. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Well, Ron DeSantis, we can't call him DeSanctimonious anymore because Donald Trump has officially said that that name is retired now that Ron DeSantis has suspended his campaign, which means he has ended his campaign, and he has come out and he has endorsed Donald Trump. And what he had to say, he was spot on. He gets it, and we have to say this, kudos to Ron DeSantis for doing the right thing here.
But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over.
Yes, Nikki Haley is a throwback to the past. She is kind of a Rockefeller, George Bush, George H.W. Bush, all repackaged, remodeled, and she is a total fraud. There are all kinds of allegations out now about affairs that she had while her husband was deployed, and the fact that, of course, we know that when she left her time in the Trump administration, she was on the verge of bankruptcy, and then Shazam, Batman, all of a sudden she's a multi-millionaire cashing in on her contacts through the United Nations, that she and her husband became defense contractors, war profiteers, part of the military-industrial complex, and she's a chameleon. She will say whatever she has to say to whoever it is that she's speaking to. She is your classic, make your skin crawl kind of politician. And not too long ago, she was on Fox News doing a town hall, and she basically said that there is no racism in America. Okay. Then she gets over on CNN and she says that she suffered persecution as a little girl because she was brown, and she's getting persecuted now in this race because she's brown. Okay. So Nikki Haley is what Nikki Haley is. A lying, corporatist protecting, globalist loving, status quo protecting politician. The only way she stands any type of shot in this New Hampshire primary is the fact that liberals are going to cross the lines because it's an open primary in New Hampshire, and they will vote for her. This does not mean they're coming into the Republican Party. This simply means they are trying to prop her up. The media for months has been trying to prop her up. Why? The establishment is trying to prop her up. All these Wall Street millionaires and billionaires that keep trying to pick our political candidates. And you know, you ever thought about how many of them that they pick that are just absolute, they're wretched? I mean, the money on Wall Street that was invested in Hillary Rodham Clinton. And I mean, right up until Election Day, they were giving her a 99% shot of winning the White House. And then they watched their investments literally tank in a matter of hours as the election results came pouring in. Now they're putting all this money and this oomph behind Nikki Haley. Some of the millionaires and billionaire class out there have seen the light, and we've talked about that in recent weeks. But, Nikki Haley, she's going to try to be within striking distance of Donald Trump to give her campaign some type of momentum. He is now officially at 55% in the latest polling out of New Hampshire. He has a shot of actually taking a bigger chunk of the vote in New Hampshire than he did in Iowa. That would be mind-blowing, especially to libloons everywhere, that Donald Trump could go into a Northeast, if you will, New England-style state and do that well. That would not bode well for any Democrats anywhere. So this could be an historic body slam to the Nikki Haley campaign, and I'm certainly hoping that it is, because it would be nice if at the end of the night, tomorrow night, Nikki Haley just bowed out. But of course, that'll all be up to the corporate donors. She won't bow out until they pull the financial plug. At least Ron DeSantis understood there was no path forward. He shouldn't have run. It was a disastrous campaign. And I know little Sean Hannity appearing on the 5 or the morning show or whatever it is they have over there at Faux Pas News in the morning, talking about what a great campaign Ron DeSantis ran. No, it wasn't. It was a disaster. From the rollout on Twitter, which, was beyond glitch-ridden, to a guy that literally has to force himself to smile. Wearing his lifts and his boots so he could look tall. This is nothing more than a guy who, well, I know. President Trump wants us to reel it in and welcome the DeSantis people into the fold, or I should say back into the fold. And again, to Team DeSantis, I understand you put your hopes and your dreams. He's suspended his campaign. You can't vote for Nikki Haley. I mean, come on. You can't vote for Nikki Haley. So come on over to Team Trump. And I'll tell you what was also devastating to Nikki Haley that I don't think is getting near enough the press attention. The endorsement of Tim Scott for Donald Trump. Tim Scott, of course, congressman from South Carolina, African-American, was appointed to Congress by Nikki Haley when she was governor. I think it was 2011, 2012. One of the congressmen retiring, she got to make the appointment. He then won his seat in a special election, and then he won re-election. And he came out and endorsed Donald Trump. Bump, ba-dum, bump. And right before the New Hampshire primary, because here's where most of the experts predict this going, and I have to agree with them on this one. Even if Nikki Haley does okay in New Hampshire, she's going to lose South Carolina, her home state. Her home state. She's going to lose. It was like when Al Gore lost the state of Tennessee. And Chris Rock said, how do you lose your home state? That's like your mom not giving you a job recommendation. I mean, Nikki Haley served as governor in South Carolina, and she's losing the state to Donald Trump. By the way, just to point out, Ron DeSantis was losing in Florida to Donald Trump. So, going into this New Hampshire primary, my prediction is that Donald Trump pulls another upset and that Karl Rove, the guy who's always wrong about everything and why anybody has him on as an expert and to pick, and, it so frustrated me the night of the Iowa caucuses when at the beginning of the night he's talking about if Donald Trump didn't go at least over 50%, it meant nothing. When the night wrapped up and Donald Trump finished the night at 52%, Karl Rove came back on to say it didn't mean anything because only 100,000 people voted. You got Nikki Haley virtually saying the same thing right now. Oh, so few people voted in Iowa. It doesn't mean anything. You know, like that little body slam crack across the mouth she made about them just before the voting began when she said, Iowa votes first, but New Hampshire gets it right. So I'm sure that didn't endear her to Iowans, and now she's taking a shot at them again. It's a small state, it's insignificant, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, but she certainly wanted to take a victory lap, coming in third and coming out of there and saying it was now a two-person race, which apparently she was prophetic in that sense. It is a two-person race with Ron DeSantis out. But most experts agree Nikki Haley isn't going to win anything else. Even if she were to win New Hampshire, she's not going to win anything else. So this is a prop up by the establishment, by the Never-Trumpers, and thank God the American people, conservatives, are seeing through it, and there's just all types of stuff out there now about her affairs and her improprieties and her connection to the military-industrial complex and the fact that she is a rhino, a Democrat dressed in Republican drag, and she's just a shill, and done with Nikki. Delusional Nikki. Done with her. It's Trump's for the taking, and this is going to be a landslide like nothing we've ever seen in history, this presidential election of 2024.